Nice, Paul from Enigma Vapours. I'm going to be doing another first impressions review on a tank that has just come into the UK, and it's something that I am particularly interested in testing out. I've had it sat in front of me for the last few hours, taking a few photos, having a little look at it. It looks very interesting. It is the SMOK TFV4. So that is what we're going to be doing first impression reviews of in this video. But before I start, let's just blow a cloud. So yeah, as you can see, there's a bit of cloud still lingering around. Just a quick introduction to myself. I'm Paul from Enigma Vapours. I run Enigma Vapours. We produce e-liquids. We've been doing it for quite some time now. I'm a passionate vapor. Been vaping for 2 years. Quit the cigarettes through doing it, and love it. Love everything about vaping. Love passing on the knowledge. Just love everything about vaping. Just totally besotted by it. We produce two ranges at the moment. There is Enigma Cloud range, 90% VG, used for dripping, as I just before, and also Enigma E-Juice, which is a tank range, 50/50 for tanks. What I will be testing out in this tank is a new range that's coming out, which is basically a 70% VG range, and for the purposes of review, it's going to be Halo Mint that I'll be doing, and that's going to be called Enigma Smooth range, so that is coming out soon. But anyway, that's enough about us. So let's talk about the SMOK. So this is the SMOK TFV4. Now I've been looking forward to this. If you know anything about me, well, you probably don't at the moment. I have a bit of a fetish for Sub-Ohm tanks. I certainly have tried and tested quite a few. And you'll see by some of the photos that I've got there that I've got quite a collection. So I started off on the Atlantis, and then got the Kanga sub tank when that came out. I moved on to the Delta, Arctic, Majanus, and then I've sort of settled really on the Hercules and the UL Crown tank. I absolutely love those two tanks. So I'll talk a bit more about them in this review later on as well, because I think it is worth certainly mentioning them. I also picked up a Aspire Triton tank. Now, I've did post up before on one of the groups. I've found a way to improve the vape on this, so I will mention that as well. But yeah, so anyway, going back onto the SMOK, I'll just go through some specifications. It is available from John Bold at www.boldvape.co.uk. Price at the moment, I think looking on pre-order, is about £27.40 including delivery. And this they've sent out is actually the basically a single kit. Now I do believe they are sending out kits that actually contain several sections, which includes a quad coil, which is a 0.15 ohm coil, 40 to 140 watt rating, triple coil, which is what this is, and that's 0.2 ohm, 40 to 130 watt rating, and you can also get 2 RBA type decks as well, one for single coil and one for dual coil. I do believe that probably will have pre-installed coils in, by the looks of the fact that they're actually listing resistances there. So yeah, quite an exciting tank. I've actually opened the box already, but I've been very good for the last few hours. I've just literally been staring at it and looking at some of these stats as well. Yeah, let's dive in and see what it's all about. Okay, this is where we're going to go into the unboxing of the SMOK. Now, basically, you'll see here that there's a nice picture of the tank, and you can actually see there is a picture of the triple coil. I'll zoom into that. So the triple coil, which is installed in the system, is 0.2 ohm, rated from 40 to 130 watts. You'll see at the bottom it says single. Now I'm presuming it says single because I think it is going to be sold as a full kit, which will contain the other coils. On the back side, there is basically a list of, I'll just read out some of the information. It says material, glass and stainless steel, weight 92 grams, so it's a fairly weighty tank. It has dimensions 24.5 millimeters. Now obviously that is going to be larger than quite a lot of the tanks out there at the moment. Certainly a lot of them seem to fit within the sort of 22mm range, which will fit most mods, apart from obviously the sub tanks, which I think are 23mm. And capacity 5mm, so it's got a quite hefty capacity there. 510 threaded, 0.2 resistance, which is obviously for the triple coil that's included. And basically it's just saying it includes the tank, and they call it the Taste Furious V4. That's what the TF stands for, Taste Furious. So I'm quite interested to see what all this furious tasting is about. Also contains a silicon ring, user manual, and I'll just read out the introduction part. This TF4 single kit includes a 0.2 TF-T3 coil installed. God, that's a bit of a mouthful there. TF-T3 coil features 3 coils, each in a separate space, which can get an ideal heat insulation effect and produce pure taste. The top refill design makes filling as easy as it gets. The Taste Furious V4 tank has improved airflow system, an innovative drip tip, and 5mm large capacity. All these are designed to provide you the unbeatable taste and quality. Innovation keeps changing the vaping experience. Well, it's certainly true about that. Every single manufacturer at the moment seems to be producing a tank every so often. I'll say every couple of weeks there seems to be a new version coming out. But yeah, let's unbox it anyway. Let's get it open and see what it's all about. So you'll see it first. Obviously you get your SMOK logo at the front. There is an authenticity sticker on the side there as well. And if I actually open the tank up, here we go. So this is what it's about. So there you go. That is the tank. Now, when I go up top, it'll probably be a bit easier to see a bit in a bit more detail here. But I'll try and zoom in for you. Okay, so it's a large tank. It's a heavy tank. I'll definitely put it that way. SMOK's written engraved in the top here. The airflow, the drip tip straight away, I can see here that it's got some sort of special design to it. We will take it to pieces in a bit. Big airflow slots at the bottom, and it is quite a wide tank. It's definitely, I think it's 24.5mm. So it's quite a little bit larger, but the one thing that does stand out about this tank, and you'll see in a minute, is the size of the coil. How can I put it? I suppose we'll have to wait and see if size really does matter, but this coil is absolutely huge. I will show you a size comparison in a bit, but we also get, as well as the tank, which I'm just going to put onto an ATI stand. I'll leave it there just so you can just about see it. We get a nice little vape band, and we get a spare silicon top fill system, which I will go into. And I actually found there was an instruction manual. I wasn't sure there was at first, but there is an instruction manual in here as well. Now, I won't go through the whole lot on there, but one thing that is good to see is the fact that it does state on this back page here, and it's actually got a picture of the X-Cube 2 as well, I noticed. So yeah, I think they're meant to work hand in hand together. It does say connect the atomizer to a power source that is suitable for its intended use, which is something that I do like to see, because there are far too many tanks going out there that people don't realise can't be run on an ego bat. They have to be run on a specific type mod that can handle, or certainly specific type batteries that can handle the drain by these low resistance coils. So anyway, let's go back to this right now. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to unscrew this. I'm just going to turn it this way so you can actually see what's going on. You also have to bear with me a bit here. I am quite new to the whole review system, certainly breakdown, and trying to get the camera angles right and bits and pieces. It's not the easiest task, but anyway, let's have a look. So if I remove the drip tip at the top here, I'm just going to rest that there for a second. Now, the interesting thing about the drip tip, you'll see there's a hole in the middle. So there's two things. Firstly, it looks like it'll take any 510 standard drip tip anyway, so you could put your own drip tip in there. But what I have noticed, yeah, it's got this sort of bore, well, basically another tube down the middle there. Now basically by rotating this round, it opens up an airflow system. Now we have seen airflow systems like this before on things like the Aspire Atlantis 2, but this one does seem to be a bit more, how can I put it, unique. And also, actually, if I unscrew it, you'll see that it screws straight off, which will probably be good for cleaning actually. But yeah, you can see there's 1, 2, 3, 4 airflow slots, which can be adjusted. So that's basically drawing in extra air, and I presume the air actually comes in through the sort of top and back up through the middle there. So it certainly is a unique way of adjusting the airflow for those hot vapes. I personally tend to keep my airflow totally closed on tanks like this, or I use my own drip tip, but there we go. So the next thing that makes this tank fairly unique is the top fill system. So if I actually push, let's get this right out, push that way, there we go, slides open. So we can basically fill up through the top there. It's a very similar system to a tank called the Sniper tank. I basically had a prototype of a while back, basically, and also I think the Limo 2, actually thinking about it, has that type of filling system there. But certainly it looks like it'll fit a sort of needle tip in. Glass dropper I will certainly test out in a bit, but yeah, let's just break down a bit further. So we've got a top fill system, and this is where it gets really interesting. What I'm going to do is just unscrew it. Oh, sorry, one more thing to mention, airflow at the bottom here. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 airflow slots, and they are absolutely massive. So yeah, you've got a decent amount of airflow, fully adjustable ring there as well. Okay, so let's see what really makes this stand out, for me anyway, certainly on first impressions. The size of that coil, right? You probably can't really see there sort of how large that coil is, but I will show you. Okay, so let me just unscrew it and we'll take a proper look at the coil as well. Okay, so you can see here, let's try and get into focus a bit. Oh, there we go. Okay, you see that, right? So we've got 3 coils in there, each with their own independent wick system, and it is absolutely massive. Now, to show you a comparison, the Hercules, basically the Hercules tank has what I'd class as quite large coils. They are both side by side, so you can see there. If I turn them that way, you can see there, it is absolutely huge. I've never seen anything like it. It could be a tank in itself, it could actually be a dripper in itself. It is absolutely massive. Compare that to an Aspire BBC coil from obviously things like the Nautilus. I mean, look at that. This is a massive coil. Anyway, size doesn't always matter, so let's have a look and see what happens. So what I'll do is I'll just put it all back together, and we'll go back up the top. Before I do that, what I will do is I will test the resistance. I always do this with any new system, just to make sure that there's no shorts or issues or whatever, and it should read 0.20, 0.21. You see probably seen a bit of screen flicker there, but yeah, 0.21, not bad at all. So definitely good. Well, certainly spot on with the resistance in the coil, and then also good conductivity through into the base there. So what I'll do now is I'll just put it all back together, and we will take it up top and start filling it. Okay, so we're back up top again. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put this back together. But before I do that, I'm going to prime the coil first, because any new coil, I'm sure you guys know this, you should always prime, certainly Sub-Ohm coils, prime them. And the way to do that is basically just drop some liquid into the coil. Now, I'll be honest, I normally put a couple of drops in, well, probably about 3 or 4 drops. I think it's actually going to probably take about 2 mils to fill that, but I'll certainly prime that now. I'm going to use a syringe as well for the purpose of this, so that we can see what the capacity of the tank actually is. So I'm just going to start off first, and I said just start priming her. So I'm just going to get the syringe and just basically just pop some liquid around in there. Okay, so I've done that, and actually I've done that in each coil section there, and also down the wicks down the side. There's 3 juice flow wicks, well, slots at the side there, that I've basically just put a bit of liquid into, and then basically what I'll do now is I'll just pop the top back on. And make, just finger tight, don't want to over thread it. And then I'll slide open the, it actually makes quite a nice click. I like that actually. I just noticed that. Yep, clicks out, back in again. So right, so yeah, so I'm going to fill through the top here, through that slot, and basically what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to measure how much liquid. Now what I'm using for this is basically a liquid that's going to be produced fairly soon by us. It's one that I'm certainly working on at the moment, quite far down the line with. It's a 70% VG juice. I've got 6 mils in the syringe here, so let's just see how much you can actually hold. Okay, I've actually closed off the airflow now. I'm not entirely sure if I need to do that, but certainly I think it's worth doing. Okay, so I'm just going to start filling out. And keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going, and keep. Oh, there we go. Right, okay. So it was reading 6, and it is now reading 1.5. So basically, about 4.5 mil capacity, which isn't far off what they're stating there. It probably could hold a bit more. It's maybe we've just got to wait for the coil to absorb from that juice. As I said, it probably holds about 1 mil in itself, well, at least. Okay, so I've done that. So the next stage of priming is obviously to get the drip tip back on. So I've done that. Now close off all airflow at the bottom. Airflow at the top's closed off. And all I'm going to do is take a few prime pulls. Okay, so I will leave that now for about 10 minutes to see. I was going to open up the airflow at the bottom just so it allows some air through. And then what I'll do is I'm just going to do a quick chat about some of the other Sub-Ohm tanks out there. Now, there's a lot. There are a lot out there. As I said, I use not only Sub-Ohm tanks, I also use RBAs as well and RTAs. My favourite Sub-Ohm tanks at the moment, out of everything, are the Hercules and the UL Crown. UL Crown tank, I'm running this at 100 watts, it's at 10 VG juice. I'm even going to take her up to 120. And this mod is something I'll mention as well in a bit. The flavour on that is awesome. Top fill, flavour is awesome. Airflow is good. It's probably my favourite. If I had to pick between the Hercules and that UL Crown, I'll probably pick. The mod I'm running it on is the SX dual box. It's basically a SX350J chip, capable of 150 watts. 10% sensing as well is available on it, and it's an absolute beast of a box. I'll just just open her up to show you. I will be doing a review on this on its own because I've been using this for near enough 2 months now. That's the internals there, very nicely done, custom box mod made by Signature Mods. I believe it's one of their first regulated box mods out there, and I love it, absolutely love it. It's my definitely my go-to mod all the time. If I'm sort of out and about, I will use a single battery mod, and that's an SX Mini M class that I'm using there, and that's actually got a Goblin RTA on. That's running at 40 watts. I was running 120. But yeah, the Hercules as well. So let's just put the Hercules on. So we may as well pass some time while I wait for that to saturate. And it is important to let your wick saturate, because if you don't, and I've only got one coil, put it that way. I don't want to blow this coil, because it might be a few more days before another one comes through. Basically, it is important that you make sure that your wicks are saturated, because if you burn that cotton, and that's it, it's bye-bye coil. So I always tend to work at the wattage whenever I break in a coil anyway. But I'm going to run this at 100 watts of Hercules. I'm going to open the airflow right up on it. Now, one thing that stands out with Hercules, I think, above the UL is the airflow options on it. It's got quite a bit of airflow to it, but so I vape. Now it's at 100 watts. That's the sort of level I like to vape my Hercules at. The coil's actually only rated to 75 watts, but it works fine at 100. UL is rated to 120. But yeah, the Hercules I love as well. It's slightly cheaper. Coils last for absolutely ages on it. I've found, I'm running custard through this at the moment, and basically lasts me about 3 weeks a coil, and that's running at 100 watts around that mark. So definitely a good tank as well. Okay, so let's go back to the let's talk about RTAs a bit as well. So RTAs, they've come on a long way. One of my favourites actually, and it still is one of my favourites. Considering how long ago I got it, and how much RTAs have come along recently, is the Limo drop. I've got a twisted build in it. It's a quadruple twisted build using 30 gauge. And basically I run this at 40 watts, and you'll just see here, it's just the, considering the size of that tank, it's only a 3mm tank. And that's a 50-50 juice in that. So, as you can see, it's not all about size. It's the way you work it. So anyway, one of my other favourite RTAs is the Billow and Billow V2. I really like the Billow, really like the flavour on that. Billow V2 is a bit easier because obviously you can unscrew the top, and you can actually play around with your build deck without losing your juice. So I'll run that on 40 watts. I'm going to run that about 60 watts, fine. I've got a dual twisted build in that. I like my twisted builds. I do believe they make a difference. I've yet to try a Clapton, but certainly twisted I use all the time. So yeah, so RTAs have come along a long way. One that I've just got hold of as well, which I'll be doing a separate review on, is the Goblin Mini. I saw a couple of reviews on that, and I thought I've got to have that because it's just so cute. And on top of that, I have got 2 Goblins at the moment anyway, so I do like the way they vape, and I do like the build deck on them. So yeah, I'm looking forward to building that up. But yeah, let's get back to the SMOK. Okay, so that's been saturated now for 10 minutes. Quite good having that on screen there. It's about the length of time they recommend. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fire it up for the first time. I'm looking forward to this. I'm hoping it goes right. Okay, so the coil is rated 40 to 130 watts. I'm running a 70% VG juice through this. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to close the airflow to half full, just to get a bit of suction through it, and then I'm going to set it to, I'll set it to its minimum to start. Okay, 40 watts. So it's reading 0.22 on there, it's reading 0.21 on the resistance meter. So here we go. Right, considering there wasn't much vapour that came out of that, there was a decent amount of flavour at 40 watts. Let's crank her up. Okay, I'll take it up to 60 now. You probably noticed there the vapour's going up. Taste slightly better, but the vapour was going up then. Got a bit of spitting, but that was probably because when I was obviously priming the coil then. Let's take her up again. Okay, I'll take her up to 80. I'm going to go up in 20 watt increments because I think she can take it, he says. So again, vapour going up, flavour's about the same. Let's go for it. 100 watts. John, if this goes wrong, I'm going to cry because I know there's not going to be another coil available for a few days, but you've asked me to do it, so I'll do it. Right, 100 watts, here we go. Right, I'm going to open the airflow up a bit more because it will probably get quite warm. It wasn't warm then, but I'll open it up half full now. Flavour increasing slightly. I'm getting different tones through. This one here is passion fruit based, and there is other fruits in there, and I'm certainly getting some of the other fruits coming through on that. So let's crank her up again. Right, I'm probably going to take it to 120 at the most because it's 130 max, and I don't want to get a dry hit because I don't want to burn the cotton in this. So let's go for it. Right, 120 watts, here we go. Let's see what happens. Take a couple of priming pulls because I said it's a fresh coil in there, and normally I'd run a tank of 2-3 first. Okay, just going to make sure the drip tip is totally closed off. Okay, here we go. Cloud production, good, good. Taste, good. I'm going to do what I wasn't going to do. I'm going to take it to the max. I'm going to take it to 130. And the thing about this chip on this, the SX350J chip, is it is accurate. So I know for a fact that this will be outputting at 130. So let's take it up to 130. Okay, now what I'm going to do for this, I'm just going to prime it a bit more. And then I'm going to open the airflow right up for this. Now, the vape wasn't even warm then, which is surprising actually, because I thought I was actually going to have to open up this top section. But no, it's fine. So let's hit her at 130. start getting a bit dry towards the end there. I think the coil needs to be primed a bit more, but flavour is good. Vapour production is good. What I'm actually going to do now is I'm just going to keep that at 130, turn the airflow half full on this section. And it's not even warm, but I'm going to start playing around with this top section now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open this top section to halfway to basically see if I can get a bit more cloud production. Right, let's go. That's a lot of vapour. That is a lot of vapour. That is beating, I'd say, yeah, everything I've got there. Let me just close the airflow off at the top again, because as I said, it's not even, the tank feels warm, but the drip tip doesn't feel warm at all. So I'm just going to close this drip tip off. What I'll actually do is just make it a bit easier for myself. I'll actually just remove it and close it off like that, so it's fully closed there. And we'll go again. Now I've got the airflow fully open this, so this is basically going to be a lung inhale. Wow. I'm impressed. Very impressed. Considering that coil is a new coil and hasn't been fully primed, the flavour coming off it is good. I'm seeing bubbles rising up, which is always a good sign. Vapour production, as you can see there. I think that could probably handle higher than 130 watts. I'm not going to push it higher than 130 watts for this review, but certainly heat-wise, it was quite a cool vape. Certainly wasn't hot by any means, and the cloud production and flavour were very impressive there, and that was with the top fully closed off there. I said I thought I was going to have to open that up. So yeah, it seems they are living up to the name of very good taste. It's certainly surprised me. So yeah, I'm going to leave it there. I'm just going to close off with one more quick vape on this, and I hope you guys enjoyed the review. Basically, as I said, this is a first impressions review. I'll come back and I will do a follow-up in a few days' time once the other coils come in and the RBA section comes in as well. But otherwise, impressed, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. You will see more reviews of certainly sub-tanks, mods, and well, certainly regulated mods and RBAs. I will be sort of going through quite a few of them. I do use the odd, well, I do use drippers, so yeah, I will be doing a few on them. But certainly sub-tanks, if you're into them, certainly keep a lookout on my channel. And I'll leave it there. So let's have a blast. Thank you, John. Peace out, guys. See you later. Hi, support from Enigma Vapours again. Just doing a quick update. I've now been running the SMOK TFV4 tank for probably about 14-15 hours now. Let it saturate the coil fully, and I just want to post this as an update to the video that I recorded, because say first impressions, things can change quite rapidly with certain products if you leave them overnight, but wait till you see this. Okay, let's go. The cloud production on this tank is absolutely immense, right? I've got to say, out of all the tanks I own, it is by far the biggest winner. If you want to produce clouds, get this tank. Flavour is spot on. You can see here I've changed liquid. Basically 70-30 ratio still, but that coil is fully saturated. The flavour is really good as well. I love it, absolutely love it. It is a big tank. That's one thing I didn't really sort of mention too much. I mean, I've got it on a Fat Daddy connector there, but it looks spot on. But absolutely love it. So yeah, you can see there's a fan in the background. That is going to be going on full pelt in a minute. I'll sign off, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the review. Catch you later, guys. Peace out.